Hi, it is October 24th. Welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. My name is Cindy, and I have a question. I surely do have a question. What do you think that parade of fools was actually thinking that they were going to accomplish yesterday? Like, I kind of don't have any words. I appreciate and understand it was a distraction because the testimony lately has been a little intense and a wee little bit negative. I understand that Trump said, you guys need to fight harder, and so off they marched. But it's as if they have completely lost all respect for government norms, government tradition. And I mean, I'm not talking about Trump because he never had them. I'm talking about that group of 20 some odd politicians, House members, who marched down there trying to disrupt something and spouting nonsense. So this is causing me to want to take a look at, not only the parade of fools, but what exactly is going on in the Republican Party? I just did one of these not that long ago, but whatever it is, it seems to be accelerating. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. Come on down and let's see if we can figure out what's going on. All right, so I have a question, and my question is, let's start with the parade of fools. Parade of fools, parade of fools, parade of fools. I want to know what they were thinking, what they thought they were going to accomplish with this stunt. I mean, we all understand it, they do this stuff for, everybody keeps saying it's a party of one, but I don't believe that. I actually think it's a party of two. Part of it is Trump, and the other part of it is Fox News. So Fox News has something to run because they can't really dwell on the testimony because, the testimony's not so good. Well, I'm just going to move my speaker. Okay, so what we have here is, it's kind of interesting because, again, these three cards in and of themselves would bode really, really well, except they sort of are reversed, or the more negative connotations is coming forward on these. So literally they are fighting their last fight. You have people walking away. These are literally the Republicans who are just walking away and saying, I can't anymore. And then you have these couple of dozen little tin soldiers who march along to Trump's insanity. Because either they're scared of not getting reelected in their districts, or they're scared of Trump going after them. So they're going to be there literally till the bitter end, yelling and screaming insanities, just like he is. However, what we're looking at overall in terms of the GOP is that, so this is what's going on. More and more information is coming out, and it's coming out so quickly, and they don't have a way to control it because, let's face it, if the Republicans in those meeting rooms, during those depositions, during those interviews, were hearing anything that exonerated Trump, you have got to believe they would be out in front of a bank of cameras, screaming about how, there's information out there that completely exonerates them. You don't hear that. They're quiet as little mice. And when they do say something, they make statements like, it's not looking really good. So the information is flooding in to that house that's doing that investigation. It's coming in quickly, and it is bearing fruit. It is providing new leads. It's providing new insight. It's rounding out the story, fleshing out the story. In some ways, this is so, I mean, we use this phrase all the time, but it is the kind of the beginning of the end here. And I mean, I've used that phrase and I used it a while ago, but this is sort of a little bit different in its texture, just sort of because it feels as if this is the point where the dam is going to start breaking wide. There have been cracks, and we're excited to see those cracks in that absolute defensive wall around Trump. And so we're excited to see that. We're excited that finally information is coming out. But Republicans are actually starting to realize, including Mitch McConnell, good old Moscow Mitch there, starting to realize that their dream, their hope, their wishes, they're not going to work out so well for them. They recognize that he is, a runaway train. He cannot be controlled. He cannot be anything. He is just getting more. He's falling deeper and deeper into himself and into his fantasy. He is becoming more cruel, more vicious. He speaks without any thought at all to what he is saying. So the interesting one yesterday, and I'm sure you must have heard about this, is he made a tweet yesterday that basically said, if you are a never Trumper, you are human scum. I wonder if this foolish man understands he just insulted not only Republicans who are never Trumpers, but all the Democrats and independents who are never Trumpers. You got to figure that's got to be what, like 60, 65%, 70% of the country he is supposed to be caring for. The country he is supposed to be holding and keeping safe and following the rules of the Constitution. So they now understand that, he's like a force that cannot be harnessed. It's like trying to catch a tornado, okay? They can't do it. They've accepted the fact that they can't do it. And slowly but surely, they are kind of saying, okay, you know what? We're going to try some really last minute things. Make no mistake, they have things that they want to keep hidden. But I think that on some level, they're actually starting to realize that the deeper this thing goes, the more at risk they actually are for their own dirty laundry being hung up to dry. So at some point, there is a sense that, we really got to pull back because what he's doing really does put us at risk now. Not only are we at risk legally, but we are at risk politically. And if there's one thing I think that we have figured out over the last 3 years is that, man, these politicians are like cockroaches, They will do whatever it takes to survive. And in this atmosphere, they seem to have developed some sort of an armored body that allows them to sort of survive like explosions of information, of bad news, of negativity and negative press. And they still just keep marching along. If I had to give that group of people who stormed the shift yesterday, I would call them drones. They do what they're told. They don't really think. They just march forward. Okay. So, and you know what? This is going to continue. They're going to continue to push forward. They're going to continue to disrupt, to try to change the narrative. They're going to do whatever it takes to try to steal the thunder away from where the attention is. And the attention, of course, is on those hearings. And they're going to, they keep screaming about policy, and that is a ridiculous argument, but it is the only one they have. It's getting harder and harder. You know, poor Mitch. Like, honestly, I don't believe I actually just said the words poor Mitch for Moscow Mitch, because God knows I hold him in no regard. But he really is put in a position now where he is juggling frantically and carefully, because he has his own secrets. There is so much stuffed into his closet that he doesn't want it coming out. I mean, there's all kinds of money issues and business dealings and corruption there, and he's trying very hard to keep himself removed enough so he doesn't get splashed with, you know, the muck, but close enough so that if he has any hope at all of trying to harness this, that he's in a position to do it. They are just bound for disappointment. They really, really are. They're going to get more defensive. It's just going to keep on accelerating. And, you know, that in and of itself is kind of scary, right? Because it's sort of like, honestly, you guys are marching into secured areas with phones and taking pictures and making phone calls and tweeting your stupid hearts out. It's like, what are you guys thinking? You're breaking long-held rules. You're breaking the law. And you're doing it in service to a man who probably doesn't know most of your names. Well, okay, he knows Matt Gaetz and he knows Jim Jordan and that other freak, whatever his name is, you know, the Ku Klux Klan guy. He knows them. But beyond that, you know, he doesn't know most of those people that are literally sacrificing themselves on the altar of Trump. Okay, I want to know what's going to happen. Give me the next couple of weeks. Take me to, you know what, let's just go to Halloween. Let's just see so Halloween is approximately a week away. I would like an overview of what we can anticipate in the next week. I think that is probably a good place to focus some energy. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at Trump and Republicans week ahead. Trump and Republicans the week ahead. Trump and Republicans the week ahead. Okay, so again, you've got a lot of information coming out. And it's a lot of information. What they're doing is they're not only fleshing out what we already know about the phone call with President Zelensky, but they're fleshing out the machinery around that. They're digging into, you know, what the State Department did not do, what DOJ did not do, and it's going to really, really rock the White House. It's not going to be good news. They're really going to find that they're in a position of sort of scrambling, and more people are starting to pay attention to this. And more people are really, really not liking what they see going on in their Washington. And that, of course, is part of the problem. Is the people in Washington have forgotten that they were put there by, you know, we the people, except for Trump, who clearly understands he was put there by Putin. But, you know, it's good he has some clarity, I suppose. Okay. They're going to want to retreat. Trump is going to keep pushing them forward. It's very interesting that this star card keeps coming up. It makes me wonder if somewhere in the next week, they might just get a tiny little break, that they're going to blow up out of complete proportion. So maybe a ruling is going to go Trump's way, or maybe a poll will come out that has him not completely sinking in the quicksand. But it looks as if, because this thing keeps coming up and it's coming up with sort of a card indicative of moving forward. I think I think we could be in for a little tiny speed bump. Ultimately, it is not going to make a wick of difference because these people are moving into a defensive position of retreat. They are pulling back because slowly but surely they understand that this is not going to work. The inquiry is going to continue going forward, and I'm here to tell you it is moving a lot faster than people think it is. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes that they're strengthening their case with, the information they're getting, the insights they're getting, that, that case is getting stronger and stronger. And in some ways, the Republicans on the outside don't really understand the magnitude of what they are being told. They'll come to realize it when this stuff gets released publicly. So going forward for this coming sort of 7-day or 8-day cycle, it looks like the work behind the scenes is going to continue, and it's going to be, productive. Sorry, I had a gaggle of giggling girls there. So we have, so this is about the inquiry, all right? You've got the government literally gaining strength, okay? So the impeachment inquiry is gaining strength. That which is trying to keep the guardrails, okay? They are the ones who are going to strengthen. And again, I think I saw this in yesterday's reading or the one before, but it really does feel as if Republicans are starting to crack open a little bit. So news is going to come out fast. It's not going to be good news. It's not going to be the truth. They're going to try to distort what they hear and see. So basically what I'm saying is you can expect more nonsense to one degree or another. They're really going to start, their claims are going to become literally more and more outrageous because, they've got nothing else. They just honestly have nothing else. I want to take a look at Trump while I have these cards out. So let's focus in on Mr. Magoo. Okay. Yeah. He is starting to actually understand that he is in a really, really precarious situation. And that sounds sort of silly to say. It's like, oh my God, how could you not have figured this out like months ago? But he lives now about 80% of the time in a fantasy world, okay? He lives in a place where reality really doesn't touch him. And because nobody has restrained him, this emboldens him. And it allows the fantasy world that he lives in to grow, to become bigger, to be more convoluted. So you're going to see some more pushback. I don't know what he's going to do, or I don't know what he's going to announce, or what distraction he's going to throw out there, but there's going to be a lot of pushback from the Republicans. I don't know what's going to happen, but something is. And he's not going to handle it appropriately. He's going to do something that once again creates an environment that is not conducive to the safety of your country. And there again is going to be another incident of pushback. And this is the thing. The more he gets pushed back on, the more he loses, the support that he should be harnessing and drawing closer. But he doesn't understand the concept. Okay. This is so not good. It's so not good. There is nothing about this that is going to help this situation in the grand scheme of things. Here's, of course, my Fool card. Here is thievery. And you know, this is really interesting. And this is a thought that's kind of been rolling around in my head a little bit in the last little while. And I'm almost positive I have this correct. So when a campaign is pulling in money, that money, when the person running decides to pull out, the money that was raised is theirs, the way I understand it. So it's very interesting that the Trump marketing machine is really, really ramping up donations, because I actually see that as part of what he does to feather his nest. It's over for him. Okay, literally, here comes the judgment, here comes death on the devil, on the fool. It's ending. It really is just as simple as that. The victory is going to go to those on the right side of this, on the right side of history, and they are going to do their level best to take the United States back to a place where there is some balance. There's going to be a shift to try at the very least to return things to pre-Trump. I don't know that they're not going to, I don't see it. I've never seen it where they're going to be able to disqualify him and reverse everything. It's going to be a heavier lift than that. People with a great deal of knowledge and a great deal of experience are going to have to move into place to, put Humpty Dumpty back together again, put the wall back up, put the guardrails back into place. It's going to be a heavy lift. This isn't going to be a snap and everything went back to the way it was and the nightmare is over. This is more than that. It's harder than that. It's bigger than that. Okay. And money, 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 money. Everything revolves around money. And guess what? Here comes the change of fortune. So honestly, as I've been talking for the last, 90 seconds or so, I keep hearing the phrase, dead man walking, right? It's over for him. He just actually doesn't know it's over for him yet. So he's continuing to march along in his delusional fantasy world. And his little tin soldiers, the parade of fools, are going to continue to follow him. And everybody else, let's think about it. There's like 170 plus House Republicans who wanted nothing to do with what the tin soldiers did yesterday. They wanted nothing to do with it. There wasn't 100 of them out there. There wasn't 150 or 70 or 80. It was like 24. The other ones appear to be a little bit more serious, and they're taking more seriously what is going on and what is being released, and they're not so immersed in the crazy that they actually don't see the reality of the situation. So in the week ahead, look for a little tiny something that sort of looks a little bit okay for Trump. It's not brilliant news, it's not great, it's nothing amazing. It's a little blip. Look for more erratic. Look for the tin soldiers to continue doing what they can do to disrupt. There's going to be a lot of arguments and stupid comments about procedure. They're full of it. They don't, they're just throwing out stuff because people who aren't paying attention will think that's actually a thing. It's going to be turbulent between, literally now and Halloween. I just get this really sort of anxiety-ridden energy, and the anxiety is in the White House. So, I think for now that's sort of what I have to say about that. So just look for a little bit more crazy in the coming week or so, and recognize as things kind of just start to get like almost really scary, recognize that this is the process that is going to bring everything down. And just hold fast to that. Just understand what you see now is the storm before the calm. Okay. So thank you once again for all of your support. It humbles me. I don't have any other words. The subscriptions are amazing. Thank you so much. The comments are wonderful. The thumbs up are amazing. How quickly my video is getting viewed from the time it's published is really amazing to me. So thank you. For anybody who is looking for that information on the Little Feminist, the information for that is on yesterday's video in that little box. And yesterday's video was Secrets and Truths. So I am now going outside to deal with a multitude of leaves in my backyard. So until next time, take care, be well, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.